Alright, Shalom. Okay, double honors here, Apostle GMS. All praise unto Yahweh Shemel Shai. And honest you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. So this is gonna be a video dealing with the psychology behind fear. Okay, and then we're gonna get into the scriptures as pertaining to the fear of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Okay. So I've had this idea to do this video for a little while in my head, and I didn't know how I was going to execute it. I still don't really know how I really want to do it, but I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it and see how the Spirit has it to where it comes out. Now ultimately, this goes for both the Israelite woman, okay, and the Israelite man, okay. Now I mentioned both as two separate entities, because when you read the curses outlined within the book of Deuteronomy, etc., the things that was going to befall the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans as a result of going off on the law, statute, commandments of the Most High, then you have a clear understanding, you have a clear insight of how modern day culture works, okay. The inner workings of the society that we're living in, right, is predicated off the curses that are going to befall the 12 tribes of Israel. So you got a Moabite out there, okay, that is experiencing certain things within his own lifestyle, okay, that are a direct result of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans going off on the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Now, why do I say that? Because you have a society that's been designed to be accursed to the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, okay, to influence them in such a manner. To the end, the scripture says that the nations have become mad. Why? Because you got it to where the enemy, the rod of the Most High's, judgment in rulership, and in the Most High judging us, He has it to where the influence of the rod of our correction is influencing the whole world out there. Okay, so the things that you see out there within the society as you would have it, and predominantly what we're speaking in on and what we're homing in on now with this particular video, the lack of fear, okay, is a direct result of the fact that you haven't got it to where people within this world, okay, furthermore, you've got a situation where the devil, okay, is in rulership, okay, and he's influencing our people, okay, to really to fulfill the curses outlined within the scriptures, okay. Now what comes to mind first and foremost is the Willie Lynch letter, okay, and when you go through the outlines of the Willie Lynch letter, you pretty much see a situation where the whole family structure is destabilized, okay. Now what needs to be understood is, how did that whole family structure how was that destabilized, okay? How was that thrown over, okay? And you have a situation where the woman was liberated, okay? Right? She was given certain, really she wasn't liberated. When you understand how the society works, okay? A woman could do things that a man can't do. A woman could be blameless, okay? A woman has a cushion that she can fall back onto. If a man has another woman pregnant, he can't go to the state and say, look, I want this, that, I want a house, I want some money, etc., etc. So you have a cushion for your mistakes right there, okay? Now, if you know anything about children, whenever children have a cushion for their errors, what do? They go crazy, okay? And what does that cushion do? That alleviates the existence of fear, okay? Now, let's go through that whole soliloquy once again, okay? When you have a cushioning for your errors, okay? When your errors do not have any consequences related to it, okay, you go crazy, okay, and ultimately that fear that it needs to exist for you to coexist with your superiors, that fear evaporates, okay. And that's the situation that you got out here within this society. Now I premised it with using the women, because we find out within the scriptures that we have a body of people, or group of people who are predominantly influenced and led by women, okay. You have a whole group, a whole nation of people, that being the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, okay, that are influenced predominantly by the female. Or you might have it to where you have some biblically balanced families out there but they are in the minority. Okay, those families are in the vast minority within the society, and the Most High did that for very purposefully, so that fear, right, that is installed in you from the father on down, okay, is absent within the children. So you have a cyclic situation, okay, where the children, they grow up without a father, they grow in a female orientated environment, of which the female has a cushioning for their lives. So now you have it to where these individuals that come within the flock, okay, the scoffers, as prophesied within the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter and the 3rd verse. Okay, the individuals that just love scorning, the individuals that they just can't get right. Okay, because they have grown in an environment where their mothers haven't had any consequences for their actions. They haven't received the consequences of their actions. So therefore, that fear that would otherwise be instilled within you from your father, because your father will say, look, boom, if you do this, that, and the third, I'm gonna whack you in your head. Because the father can perceive that if I don't install this fear within this individual, okay, that this individual is going to fail. And ultimately that transpires into the scriptures, because the scripture says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding. Okay, so let's go through some of these. Anybody who knows me knows I like to get into the psychology in that, man. Okay, so I got a psychology article here. I'm gonna go into that a little bit. I'll reinstate some of the points that I made. Then we're gonna see what the scriptures is saying. Now, some of these scriptures I've quoted, some of them I'm not gonna get to. I got 3 lined up at the minute. I might quote some more. I might get some more. So we'll see how the spirit goes. So it says 7 things you need to know about fear. Okay, fear can be an uncomfortable, crippling. Fear can be uncomfortable and crippling. Now, why is that important? Because when you have a situation, when you have an individual, okay, that you're gonna impart a whole kingdom to, okay, you're gonna give this individual a whole kingdom to. Now, if that individual lacks fear, that's what's gonna be, we're gonna be born doing right. So that's going to come pre-installed, but not required, because we're going to be doing right anyway, as pursuant to the book of Hebrews, the 8th chapter and the 8th verse, where if the scripture talks about he's going to take away the heart of stone and replace it with a heart of flesh. Okay, so that's important to remember. So that whole thing, this whole environment that we're living in, this whole degenerate environment that we're living in right now, is not going to be no more pretty soon. Okay, but that crippling fear, all right, in the ancient world, was the difference between you doing right as according to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, but also too, that is also the thing that cripples our minds, or I wouldn't even say cripple our minds, the things that we're scared of, okay, the things that we fear, is not making it into the kingdom as pertaining to the man of the Lord. That's why we're so diligent as pushing this word, man. Okay, it says, but eliminating it would be the equivalent of taking off the home alarm system, all right, because sometimes it makes a loud noise and it's irritating. So you go through phases where you're like, man, am I gonna make it, this, that, and the third? But if you really have it to where you live your existence with a lack of fear towards the Most High, then it's like living in a house without the house Allah, man. And that's what this being illustrated within this particular article right here. Okay, so it says being fearless can be doesn't mean eliminating fear. And that calls to remembrance the scriptures where it talks about being bold. You see, that's why those are the intricate things of the scriptures that people don't really understand, but you understand when you're underneath the men, the elders, a great millstone whom the Most High Yahweh has set up to be the leaders of this people. Now, there are going to be some other people out there that don't go by the name of GMS who teach the same doctrine as we do. They're going to make it too. Okay, right? So it says here, but see, I was quoting the scripture. It says where it talks about being bold. But wait, hold on a minute. The scripture also talks about being what? That you're gonna be fearful towards Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So there's a balance to that, man. Okay. Hey, the scripture talks about how the Most High hates an unjust balance. Okay, an unjust way. Okay. It says being fearless means knowing how to leverage fear. So when you're out there and you're gonna do a certain thing, okay, you got to leverage that. But see, that's not a instinct. That's not a thing of conjuring up a spirit within yourself, which usually you see guys like that, they conjure up a spirit of pride. They ain't actually going out there leveraging fear. They ain't dealing in the spirit. They're actually just dealing off of their own pride. Now, we all fall victim towards that. But see, you're supposed to be praying Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to take that demon off of you. Okay? And it says, and to that you need to know a few things about what you're dealing with. So let's get into it. So it says, fear is healthy. It's hardwired in your brain for good reasons. Okay, neuroscientists have identified distinct networks that run from the depths of the limbic system in all the way to the prefrontal cortex and back. When these networks are electrically or chemically stimulated, they produce fear. Okay, in the absence of fear, in the absence of a fearful stimuli. Okay, so it says feeling fear is neither abnormal nor a sign of weakness. The capacity. See, that reminds me of that dude. I've never been no weak Jew. Okay, hey, we're weak before Yahweh Shemi outside, man, because our righteousness is as filthy rags. Therefore, we're fearful before the Yahweh Shemi outside, knowing full well that any moment, at any time, and I won't even say that the Most High could put us to death, because really in this society where a woman has no fear because she has leveraged fear by way of having the government as the cushioning to her mistakes, then you're living in just a chaotic society, man. You're just living in a completely chaotic society, and the situation just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Okay, the powers that be, the rulers that be, the elite banking families, they're completely wicked. Okay, and they just perpetuate a system that's just wicked and more wicked and more wicked, man. Okay, but the point I was saying, I may have lost my train of thought there, but it says there, it's not a sign of weakness. Okay, because fear is a very needful thing, right, to serve Yahweh Shemi Shai. Okay, so it says the capacity to be afraid is a part of a normal brain function, and in fact, a lack of fear may be a sign of serious brain damage. Okay, and some of these niggas is got some serious brain damage because they've lived in an environment, okay, where the person that was in rulership, the person that was leading their families, okay, and also too the person that was in rulership, that being the so-called white man Esau, okay, he's created a cushioning for himself, or in other words, he's gone consequent free for the longest time. But see, the judgment that's gonna befall him is right around the corner, man. Okay, the scripture talks about though it tarry, it shall not tarry. So that's the liken unto Esau's judgment. So when people within our own community see that, really I don't like that word, but really the people amidst the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, when they see that, when they see someone as Esau going out there doing all types of wickedness and prospering within that wickedness, they're seduced by that. That's why when you go to the book of Maccabees, it says somewhere else they were them days they went out wicked men from Israel. Okay, and you can see them individuals like that, like guys like ISUPK leader General Yohana, guys like Nate, who dismisses the name of the Lord completely. That's a complete lack of fear. And as far as you can see, that he hasn't been judged for that as yet. That's the important thing, as yet. Okay. So they're in a state of serious brain damage, because if your brain was fully functioning, then you would know that the Most High is long suffering, but the wicked shall not go altogether go unpunished. That's the balance of that state. Okay, so it says fear comes in many shades. Fear is inherently unpleasant experience that can range from mild to paralyzing. Okay, from anticipating the results of a medical checkup to hearing news of deadly terrorist attack. Okay, it says horrifying events can leave a permanent mark on your brain's circuitry, which may require professional help. However, chronic stress and low intensity variety of fear expressed as free-floating anxiety, constant worry, daily insecurity, right, can quite quietly be seriously harm your physical and mental state over time. And see, that's what you really want to get rid of. Okay, you want to get rid of the fear of the Most High, but that stress, okay, that constant grinding, and really, when the Most High gives us the perfected rest when we get out of this kingdom, okay, that's going to be non-existent. But that fear towards the Most High is going to be forever present. Okay, and it's going to be installed within our women, within our children, and within the heathens that serve us. Okay, because they are going to serve us. Okay, they're going to be our slaves, not employees, but slaves. Okay, let's move on to the next point. Okay, and this is the point where you can read the rest of it I was gonna read the rest of it, but I really want, I want to keep it as spiritual as possible. So I'm gonna get into the scriptures in a second. So I'm gonna read this third point here, and I'll go into the scriptures. Okay, so it says, fear is part instinct and part learned. Okay, so when we was dealing in a situation in an environment where the Lord's statutes commandments of the Most High were upheld, okay, then you would learn that adultery leads to death. Okay, the wages of sin is death. You learn that you ain't supposed to kill. You ain't supposed to kill. But certain individuals might have to be put to death. You was gonna learn how. You was gonna learn, especially within this society, that being a homosexual, you're gonna be put to death. Okay, you was gonna learn within the scriptures. You were gonna learn that you ain't supposed to cover. Okay, and there was consequences for all of these laws, statutes, commandments that the Most High has ordained. Okay, so it was part learned, as it's talking about here, and part taught. Okay, so you had individuals out there that was studious in law, teaching you, so that so you don't get jacked up from the Yahweh Shemi Shai. See, now here's where it gets interesting. So, like I had mentioned prior to this, reading this, we're living in an environment where the rulers, okay, that being the black woman, okay, but her master Esau, okay, they're the two dominant, most influencing forces upon the Israelite man out here right now. Okay. But I'm also Esau because it's his powerhouse, it's his kingdom right now. Okay, but you got two entities, two individuals, two groups of people right here that have no consequences for the errors that they make. Okay, so now you got it to where the people that live underneath those individuals, they're gonna be in a state of doing wickedness because that's what they've learned, and they feel like there's no consequence of that. Okay, but remember, we just quoted the scriptures here where the scriptures saying you ain't supposed to be doing this, you ain't supposed to be doing that. So does that mean that these people are gonna get away scot-free? When you go to the book of Amos, the 9th chapter, what does it say? He says, behold, the eyes of the Lord power upon the sinful kingdom, and he's going to destroy it from the face of thereof. Okay, so there's going to be a real true life judgment, okay, for all of this wickedness that all of these people is committing. Okay, there's going to be a real world, a true life judgment for all of this wickedness that these people be committing, man. Okay, all right, so let's read this. It says, and some fears are instinctive, pain, pain, for example, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so let's go to this bit. It says other fears are taught, cultural norms, right, as pertaining to the scriptures, etc., etc., right, often dictate whether something should be feared or not. All right, think for example about how certain social groups are feared and persecuted because of their society, of a society created impression that they are dangerous. Okay, so that's a particular example of that. So now let's go into the scriptures here. We'll start off from the book of Isaiah, the third chapter on the 12th verse. It says, as for my people, children of their oppressors, and women rule over them, right? On my people, they which lead thee, cause thee to err, okay, and destroy the ways of thy path, because you lack the fear of Yahweh Shemi Shai. Therefore you are destroyed for that lack of fear. Okay, so let's go now to the next scripture here, and there's a bunch of them. Because this is this is the rudimentary, the most important thing you want to take away from this script, this particular video, man. Okay, and I'll start from the top, all right, which I'm gonna, I'll start from the top. Okay, this is Proverbs, the 1st chapter on the 7th verse. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Okay, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Okay, let's move on to the next one. For they that hated knowledge did not choose the fear of the Lord. Okay, Proverbs 2 and 5. Then thou shalt understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of Yahweh Shemi Shai. So if we go back onto this, okay, we find out that the fear comes from cultural norms. Then we assess the cultural norms that we're living in, and we find out the cultural norms that we're living in is against the scriptures. Then ultimately, the fear of Yahweh Shemi Shai ain't gonna be within this society, man. Okay, so if the fear of the Lord ain't within this society, then the knowledge of Yahweh Shemi Shai isn't within this society. Then this kingdom is gonna be destroyed. Simple mathematics, right? Simple mathematics. Okay, so Proverbs the 8th chapter on the 13th verse, it says, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. Okay, here we go. Pride, again, that's heavy within this society, because pride is this. Pride is in the back of your mind, you know you shouldn't be doing that. Okay, in the back of your mind, you know you shouldn't be committing adultery. Okay, in the back of your mind, you know you shouldn't be in covetous, right? Okay, in the back of your mind, you know you shouldn't be blaspheming like polite when you're shooting up the Bible. That was a statement of pride right there. Okay, and why? But it goes back onto that cushioning. Okay, that environment that they've learned under, wherewith there's no seemingly there's no consequences for their actions. But you listen to these people, what they say when they do those things. Okay, oh, the Most High mustn't exist, because these people, when they're born with no legs. Hold on a minute. You're telling me the reason you feel that doing the wickedness that you're about to do is the judgment that's going to be placed upon an individual like that? Come on, man. Okay, and that all comes from a thing of fear of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. See, if you fear the Lord, then you expound onto the understanding of these scriptures, and you know that these people that are born in the jacked up state that they're in, the people that are getting blown off, dead and all of that, they're getting all of that because they were proud, did not choose to fear the Most High, so now they're in a jacked up position that they're in. Okay, so let's carry on with this. It says, arrogancy, right, the evil way, all right, and the froward mouth do I hate. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next one, Proverbs 9 and 10. Okay, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of holy is the understanding. Okay, the fear of the Lord, Proverbs 10 and 24, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, right? The fear, right? So, and that's a nice one. Okay, the fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted. Okay, the fear of the Lord prolongeth days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. Okay, in the fear of the Lord is confidence. Okay, so here it is, was dealing with that article, and they was going into all of the different types of fear, this, that, and the third, and how sometimes it could be crippling and this, that. But really, you become confident because you know that what you're doing, if it's in righteousness, the Most High is gonna be with you with that, man. Okay, you know that if you're out there, okay, and you dealt in a righteous fashion, and there's a gift presented before you, okay, and you're gonna deal with that gift in the form of righteousness, and you can go in there with all your confidence, because you know what? Because you know the Most High has done placed it there. Because why? Because it's leading on to more righteousness, man. Okay, so all right, so let's go. Let's finish up. I'll do one or two more. Okay. I see. I'll finish off here. So it says, this is Proverbs 22 and 4. It says, but humility and fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life. Okay. So with that, I'm gonna say, hopefully that was edifying. Okay. I'm saying, all praise unto Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. Okay. Double honor to the apostles of GMS, and honor to your brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. And other one, right, as I will see you on the next one. Shalom.